Hey Capricorn, here's your weekly horoscope for March 21 to March 27. Well, it's been very enjoyable to be able to, indicate some more pleasant news for Capricorns than you had to deal with in 2020. It was a rough year for everybody, but Capricorn had a pretty rough time the last couple of years. Now, you're not completely out of the woods. I have to tell you that although we love spring, the sun has moved into Aries, we're into warmer weather. Unfortunately for Capricorn, Aries planets put them into a conflict with you, especially involving family and responsibilities of family and home versus your public responsibilities, say your work or other such things. So there is potential for conflicts this week, and I'll try to break them down for you and see exactly where and what these things that may be occurring for you are going to come up. Let's talk about some good stuff first, though. First of all, at least the week ends with the moon in Virgo, which is going to be a lot better for you. So the week may end up a lot better than it starts, and that's good news at least. Also, Mercury in Pisces, generally, Mercury will kind of help Pisces have voice for everybody. Our feelings come out. We can talk about them more when Mercury is in Pisces. That's not such a great thing for you, though, because you do not like to talk about your feelings very easily. You can, and when you do, with the most intimate people in your life and the people you trust, well, you just show us that you have feelings just like everybody else. But in general, in public, or to people you don't know very well, you would never be opening up yourself that way. You don't like to leave yourself vulnerable in any sort of way. But in fact, we all have vulnerabilities. We all go through tough periods. We all have perhaps collected a lot of emotion in response to this pandemic we've had last year, and that includes you. Now, the concern I have with Capricorn when they do that is sometimes they seem to manifest health problems because they're repressing so much in the way of their feelings. So I'm going to say this. You're not a sign that would love to go to therapy or talk over things with people. You hate that sort of business. But I got to tell you, it does help. So if you need to talk about what's going on in a good way with a therapist or close friend, your intimate partner, if you have one, do so. But there's a warning here. The Mercury in Pisces is also squaring Mars in Gemini. And that aspect, if you listen to the other videos I've done for other signs, Mercury-Mars square is not the best placement for communication because it tends to bring up issues of people wanting to have power or more control than they should. It's not fair. So it's all about crossing boundaries, people being more aggressive than they should be, and that person may be you. Because Capricorn, sometimes, especially when you lose your temper, oh good Lord, you can be very destructive to your relationships. So I just got to tell you, you really need to try to keep your cool this week as best you can. Now, you know yourself, and you know there are things you can do that relieve your stress. For many Capricorns, it could be sports, it could be getting out in nature, it could be going for a drive. But again, be careful about driving in anger or other such things. I'm worried that this Mars-Mercury square, even though it's not in your sign, it's just there in general, it may be firing up other people that then create issues with you. I'm just a little concerned that you're too concerned with conflict and fighting and having things go your way. And when things don't go your way, you get very frustrated and you complain. So, yeah, there's a whole potential there, as I've just described, for there to be disagreements, conflicts. But the resolution for these is drawing boundaries. Your sign is ruled by the planet Saturn, and that is all about boundaries. So maybe it's time you set some. Or maybe it's time you loosen up some of those boundaries and renegotiate some of them or compromise. Now, you can compromise fairly, although you tend to want to make sure that you're taken care of before the other people, but not when it comes to your family. When it comes to your family, you can be very much there for them. That's usually, for most people, we take care of our family, but for Capricorn, you're really good at it. Now, the planet Pluto's in Capricorn, and it's being afflicted by the moon a couple times this week. When it's in Cancer from Monday afternoon to about Tuesday morning, it's opposing Pluto, so control issues definitely come up with that aspect. Then, when it does a quincunx to the moon in Leo, Capricorn and Leo can really clash sometimes, and when they do in the sky with these planets, again, the moon, emotions and feelings, in conflict with Pluto and Capricorn, not a great scenario for you. You hate emotional issues. You hate dealing with that stuff in general. But know that when you do deal with it, when you find compromise and you renegotiate and discuss things, you can resolve them. And actually, you love to fix things. You're really good at fixing things. So if you viewed your relationships and your ability and need to communicate better, just as you view when you go fix a car or fix whatever, because you're usually very good at fixing things, as I said, look at people and relationships as necessary things that sometimes need to be repaired or fixed as well. So just apply your best skills in that area, and I'll bet that you'll be able to fix things. Now, the area of conflict that is probably coming up for you this week is family. And it's because of the sun moving into Aries and the fact Venus, friends and family and loved ones in Aries, and Chiron in Aries, that is all in the solar chart for Capricorn in the 4th house of home and family. So it could be someone in the family is ill, or you're fighting with them, or there's a huge conflict, or it's the other way around. You're ill, or someone is trying to tear a strip off you or trying to control you. So yeah, these aspects unfortunately are ripe for the conflicts I've already described. But do know, conflict occurs, at least astrologically I can tell you this, the conflicts occur to bring things to a head, to put things on the table so they can be resolved. But they don't get resolved with your sign because you try to ignore them. You try to pretend they don't exist. You don't want to deal with them. But when you do, they get fixed. So the choice is up to you. Deal with what's coming at you head on this week and fix it. But don't necessarily expect family to be there for you. They're more used to you being there for them. But you know what? Maybe that's the issue or some of the issues that do have to be fixed and cleaned up. Aside from that, these aspects are also good for home renovations and things that need to be fixed or repaired at home. So it's not all bad as long as the money is there, of course, to be able to take care of those things. But with the Mercury-Mars square, again, although it's not hitting your sign, do be careful. Accidents can happen with that aspect as well. So don't act in anger. You're more likely to hurt yourself. And if the car breaks down or something in the house breaks down, well, you could get all angry about it, but is that going to fix it? No. So my advice to you, Capricorn, is know that there's a potential for some challenges this week, but be prepared for them and be prepared to deal with them. The worst thing for you to do is ignore them. They're only going to get worse then. So good luck.